What's up, people? I have a story for you about prayer. Most of you know that I'm very passionate about prayer. Some of you will find this story interesting. Some of you will find this story whack. Regardless, I want to share it with you, okay? It's about a client. This just happened recently. I'm not going to tell you her name. We'll keep that confidential. So I teach a team class. A team class is like a group class. I teach Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now, if somebody doesn't show up to the class, I typically send them a text. So I'll text them, hey, we missed you today, or is everything okay? Something like that to help hold them accountable so that they come to class. So a woman in my class didn't show up to class. So I said, hey, we missed you today. She said, oh, sorry about that. My daughter was sick, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, cool. Next day, next class time, she didn't show up again. Hey, hope everything's okay. Oh, sorry, blah, 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 reason, I think something from work, and then this, that. That went on and on and on. 1 week, 2 weeks, I think it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Just something kept coming up over and over and over and over and over again. And I knew that she had gone to church, so I felt comfortable asking her this. I said, hey, do you believe in prayer? This is through text message. She said, yes. I said, cool, have you prayed to come to class? Because it's been a whole month and things just keep getting in the way, right? Have you prayed just to come to class? She said, laugh out loud, maybe I should. So then I told her, why don't you just do it right now? And I asked her, how long would that take you if you were to pray? She said, it would take me about 15 minutes. So I replied back to her, I said, I just prayed right now to go to work tomorrow, and it took me like 15 seconds. Why would it take you so long? She said it would take her long because she has to pray the rosary. She has to pray a bunch of other things together with it. So I asked her, can you separate those things? And by the way, when I ask her these questions, I'm just asking genuinely. I'm not trying to really lead her in any direction. I am trying to ultimately get her to pray, but I'm trying to discover and find out what's going on in her life, okay? So she's saying, I just genuinely wanted to know because I didn't know, maybe part of her routine is she has to pray that way. I'm not sure. But she said, no, I don't need to. So I said, okay, can you just pray right now to come to class tomorrow and then pray those other things later? And she didn't reply. She ended up texting me later something, but she didn't show up the next day. So in my mind, in my experience, that tells me that she didn't pray. Next class time she didn't come. Is everything okay? She gives me a reason on why she didn't come. Next time, hope everything's okay. Kind of the same kind of routine went on. Then I want to say this is a month and a half later of her continuously not coming to class. I asked her, hey, how can I help you pray for 15 seconds to come to class? What can I do for you? She said, haha, I'm going to do it later, don't worry. And I said, how can I help you? Just do it right now. And she said, I will, don't worry. I said, okay, cool. How about you text me? Just text me when you're done. Immediately, she texted me back saying that she did it, that she prayed to go to class the next day. I said, okay, great, awesome. In my experience, that will increase the probability of you actually showing up to class tomorrow. The next day comes, and she didn't show up. So, again, from my own personal experience, and I've been tracking this now and surveying this now for over 10 years with clients and with people, blah, blah, blah. In my experience, that tells me that she didn't pray, right? She says that she did. So I text her, I said, hey, why didn't you pray to come to class like you said you did that one time? She goes, I did. I said, okay, cool. So you did pray to come to class, right? She said, yes. I said, okay. Text me exactly what you prayed. Text me exactly what you prayed. And by the way, I'm paraphrasing a lot of this. I could talk about this story a lot longer. I'm just trying to give you the nuts and bolts of the story. So she said, I prayed for my family, I prayed for this, I prayed for that, blah, blah. She gave me this long list of things that she prayed for. I said, really? Because you texted me immediately when I asked you to text me back. How did you get all those things in and pray to go to class specifically the next day, which was today? And she said, well, I guess I didn't really pray specifically to come to class. I said, okay, cool. So then we can't say that God didn't answer your prayer because you weren't very specific about what you wanted. So I said, can I call you? So I call her. I'm talking to her on the phone, and 5 minutes, blah, blah, blah. She's telling me all her stories, this and that. I said, hey, how about this? How about we just get you to pray right now on the phone so that you come to class tomorrow? Immediately she says, I gotta go. I gotta get off the phone. And I said, I've been talking to you on the phone now for over like almost 10 minutes, and now all of a sudden when I ask you to pray, you just say you have to get off the phone. And I just sense all this resistance in her for praying for one reason or another. I didn't know what it was. Anyway, she's like, I gotta go. I gotta get off the phone. I said, okay, cool. She gets off the phone. Next day, she doesn't come to class. So I got to thinking to myself, what are some reasons on maybe why she couldn't pray? And I thought maybe she didn't understand the process. Maybe she felt insecure about it. Whatever the reasons are. And by the way, during this text conversation, I kind of let my hands off. I said, hey, I'm just asking you, do you believe in prayer? You say you do. And this is only a 15-second time commitment. I'm not even asking you to come to class. I'm just asking you to pray to come to class. That's the only thing I'm asking for, right? She's saying, yes, I will. So I'm not trying to beat her over the head with something that she doesn't believe. She's saying that she believes this. So I got to thinking maybe she'll feel more comfortable if I pray so that she comes to class, and she hears me pray. Then I can ask her to pray and kind of regurgitate what she heard me say. So I call her up and I said, hey, listen, you haven't been coming to class. It's been almost 2 months now, right? I just want to pray for you to come to class. She said, okay, cool. So I just do a simple prayer. If you've watched any of my other videos, I sometimes talk about the sequence and the structure of prayer. I don't think it has to be this, but I just find it beneficial. I just gave a simple, God, please forgive us for our sins, something like that. Thank you for her commitment and her drive and her willingness to want to come to class. Bless her to come to class tomorrow. Bless her to show up to class. She said, okay. She listened to me. So I said, now I want you to pray. So she said, all right. So she prayed, and she said, God, bless me so that I have the motivation to come to class tomorrow. I said, okay, great. I'm going to pray again. So I pray again. I said, God, bless it so that, and I go through the kind of process, but then I asked specifically, I said, God, bless her with the motivation to go to class, but not only the motivation. She doesn't just want motivation. She actually wants to show up to class, because she could have all the motivation in the world. That doesn't necessarily mean she's going to get to class. So bless her to actually show up to class tomorrow. So then I end it, and I asked her, I said, can you pray but make that distinction? Because you don't just want motivation. You actually want to show up to class, right? You don't just want motivation. She said, okay, cool. So she goes ahead and prays, and she actually prayed to show up to class. The next day, she shows up to class, right? To me, the way that I see things, again, if you've watched any of my previous videos, the way I define an answered prayer is if you pray for something and you get the thing, that means it's an answered prayer. Now, there's always going to be an in-between, an explanation, a rationalization, however you want to think about it. You can explain this away however you want. The bottom line is she was not coming to class over and over and over and over again for 2 months. The moment she prayed to go to class the next day was the day that she actually came. Okay? And I realize you guys can comment if you have a hard time or you think it's baloney or whatever. I can go into more detail on this. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already 9 minutes. So then, that day I said, wow, you came to class, great. Can you do me a favor? Can you pray? Just like you did, simple. Pray to come to class tomorrow. Since you want to come to class tomorrow and you did it and it actually worked. The one time you prayed, it worked and you showed up. She said, yes, okay, cool. So then the next day, she didn't show up to class. I follow up with her, hey, what happened? And she said, hey, look, I have my own way that I like to pray, and which is fine. She can pray her own way. It's all good. All I know is the moment that she did pray to come to class, and she's very specific about it. I want to go to class tomorrow. She could be praying every day for motivation to come to class. That's different than actually coming to class. I hope that you guys can make that distinction. One other thing I do want to say too, I kind of left this part out, but I was actually talking to her on the phone, and she was saying that she had prayed to come to class specifically. And I probed and I probed and I probed, And what I ended up revealing is that she actually wasn't. And this has happened a few times with previous clients where they said that they were praying for certain things. And as I dove into it specifically, asking them to tell me verbatim what they were praying for, it ended up revealing that they weren't actually praying specifically for certain things. So I just found that interesting, because many times in my experience, people are saying that they're praying for things and they're not getting it. And then through closer examination, they're not actually praying for those things. That's the prayer story, guys. Hopefully that wasn't too boring for you. I found it interesting myself. I kind of deal with this thing routinely. If you have any questions about prayer, feel free to message me. I can go into more detail, or if you want me to make a video specifically about something that I talked about, I'll be happy to do so. That's it for today's video, guys. God bless you all. Peace.